In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to explore the relationship between wholesale, retail, markup, discount, and taxes. And the first thing we need to really understand is that all of these things are just different forms of change, and or I guess even different forms of percent change. And like we looked at when we looked at change, changes can either be increases or they can be decreases. And if you think back to the different types of work we've done in this unit, you'll see that some of these things classify as increases and some of them classify as decreases. So for instance, discount is a decrease. It decreases the price of an item. Tax, on the other hand, is an increase, right? It increases the cost that you pay as the customer. Markup is another increase. That's what we use when we determine the retail price of an item. Then we have things like tip, which increases the amount that we pay to a restaurant or to a guide or something like that. We also have interest. Interest increases the amount of money that we have in our bank account or increases the amount of money we owe on like a loan of some sort. So let's put all of these different concepts together. I'm going to use a t-shirt as my example here. And so when a store buys a t-shirt, what they're really doing is they are paying the wholesale price. That's the price that the store pays when they buy a particular item. The store pays that. The store then applies a markup percentage. So they apply a markup percent, which is an increase, even though the arrow is going down, but it's an increase. And that in turn determines the retail price. And that's the price that the store wants to sell it for. The store sells for this price. And the retail really should, if the store sells it for the retail, that should include all the profit that they need in terms of paying their employees and paying rent and all that. But here's the thing, sometimes the store isn't actually able to sell it for that, so they need to apply a discount, and that's what we all look for. We want a sale. And so once we apply the discount, we actually get, I guess, what I'll just call the sale price. And that's what the customer, or that's what the store actually gets for it, right? So they don't always get the retail price, but they do get the sale price. Now, unfortunately, there is another thing that can affect the price, and that is the tax. So sometimes there is a tax percent, and I guess that discount is also a percentage, but there is a tax, and that in turn determines the final price. So a lot of things can actually happen between when the store gets the shirt for the wholesale, and then when they try to sell it for something, and then they give some sort of sale price, and then of course at the end you pay the final price. Lots of different types of percentages are applied to change this. And so what we're going to do is we are going to look at an example of putting all of these different things together. So the example here is a skateboard costs $135. So that's the retail price. And I'll just make a note of that that's the retail price. That's what the store wants to sell it for. But it's now on sale for 20% off. So we have a discount here, and discounts, remember, are decreases. And you are going to pay an 8% tax, so there's going to be an increase at the end. So the question is, what's the final cost of the skateboard? So we're going to do this in two different steps. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to find the sale price. That factors in the discount. And then we're going to find the final price, which then includes the tax. So let's find the sale price first. And I'm going to use a proportion to do this. There's a way to use an equation as well, but I'll use the proportion to do this. So to find the sale price, what I'm going to do is I am going to find the amount of the discount over the original price. And in this case, the original price is really the retail price, because that's what the discount applies to. And so here's what I have. I don't know what the discount is, but I know the original is $135. I know that the discount is 20%, and that therefore is, of course, out of 100. So I'm going to use cross products here and say that 100N is equal to 20 times 135, and I'm going to divide by 100 and divide by 100. N equals, get my calculator out, 20 times 135 divided by 100 equals 27. So remember, this 27 is not the sale price, it is the discount, right? And so now to find the actual sale price, I need to put those two things together. So the original was 135 minus 27 because it's a discount. And so I'll use my calc. 135 minus 27 equals 108. So this is the sale price. But remember, it's not the final price yet because there's still some taxes that get included. And so to do this time, I'm going to find the amount of tax over the original, and I'll write those numbers in. I don't know the amount, but I know the original price. And notice that the original price is different. It's not the retail price, it's the sale price, the price that I paid. I know the tax is 8%, and that's over 100. So now let's actually kind of work that out. Same thing, I'll use cross products. 100N equals 108 times 8, divide by 100, and divide by 100. And N equals, get my calculator out, 108 times 8 divided by 100 equals 8.64. So my final price, right, is not 8.64, just a reminder again, right, that 8.64 represents the tax, not the final price. So to find the final price, I need to take the original, which was 108, plus 8.64, and I don't need a calculator for this. I know it's 116.64. So the final price that I paid is $116.64.